TheGuardian.com has posted an article about Star Citizen, and I kind of want to see what the mainstream media, or at least semi-mainstream media, thinks of this game, and its title saying, "Billion-dollar video game. Is this the most expensive piece of entertainment ever made?" Let's dive straight into this, and I would like to say that the link is in the description if you guys would like to go over it yourself, but I think it's time we begin reading. I will be reading the article word for word, so if you guys would like to follow along with me, the link is in the description, as well as I am going to put screenshots on the screen for you guys. Having a little gameplay in the background might help a little bit, so if you're ever bored, just remember to watch that as well. Let's get straight into it. How player-funded development launched a multiplayer game of galactic proportions and costs in Star Citizen. How much does it cost to make a video game? The development expenses of Blockbuster games are closely guarded business secrets, but they have been climbing ever higher over the years towards big Hollywood-style spending. I think we've actually seen that with GTA 5 and GTA 6. I think GTA 6 is like $2 billion or something, which is absolutely insane, so let's keep going into this. Industry leaks have exposed how the budgets of major video games are spiraling upwards $100 million or $200 million even more. One of the best-selling franchises, Call of Duty, saw costs balloon to $700 million or 573 million pounds, a number only revealed recently when a reporter dug into court filings. That's actually crazy. I did not know that. I'm going to be honest, I don't think there's a single Call of Duty game that was worth 700 million. That's a little crazy. There is, however, one game with a budget that is anything but secret. The sprawling multiplayer space simulator Star Citizen publishes its funds on its website, which is available in a link here, and they are updated in real time. Currently, they stand at $777,145,107, a figure that will be out of date as soon as this article is published. Soon it'll surpass 800 million and, possibly in a year or so, breach the ceiling to become the world's first billion-dollar video game. I don't think it is the world's first billion-dollar video game, so maybe I have to check this out, but I thought GTA 6 was more, but I guess since it's not out yet, that doesn't count. But I know there were other things like that. Monopoly Go was a lot of money too because they put it into marketing, but, well, for the sake of this, I guess we'll stay along with that. Unless beaten to it by another huge game, and there are a few of those in production, okay, so that's GTA 6, although their costs are likely to remain undisclosed, that would make it the single most expensive piece of entertainment ever produced. Star Wars The Force Awakens, the priciest movie ever made, costs roughly half that. Roughly half of 777 mil is crazy, so it definitely is bringing in those big numbers, which is awesome. But they say Star Citizen's figures are publicly available because it is not investors that are funding this PC game, but the players themselves. Now, they go to a quote, and they say, "Fandom is at the beating heart of Star Citizen," says Rhys Elliott, a games industry analyst at the London-based marketing research firm MIDIA Research. "It's more of a movement than a game. There's a mutual commitment between the developers and the players to make something cool and revolutionary, something that hasn't been done before." I'm not going to lie, as an outside perspective from a London-based market research firm, I would say that this guy's pretty like hitting the nail right on top of the head. I think a lot of the players that are especially backers nowadays aren't even backing the game just to play it. They are backing it because they want to support what this game has to offer. So I'm completely with that. I think that's really good. They have a video link embed of an Ollie 43 video, which is really cool. And they say British American video game developer Chris Roberts, famed for his 1990s Wing Commander spaceship fighting series, launched Star Citizen as a crowdfunded project in 2012. Promising to create a digital universe so huge, yet still so detailed that players would forget it's a game. That's honestly kind of true. It is really crazy at certain times, and you kind of have to step back while playing this game and think, wow, this is a video game. It's not like real life. This is kind of crazy. I will kind of agree with that. He raised its first $2 million on Kickstarter, and it has been growing ever since, fueled by fans willing to put their money into a plan so ambitious in scope that no profit and deadline-focused publisher would consider the risk of making it. True that, true that. After a few years, an early version of the game became available for fans to test, but it was almost always unplayable, constantly freezing and crashing. Only recently has Star Citizen started to look and feel like a real video game. I will not lie, whoever's writing this article seems like they know a little bit about this game, and I am very happy to see that because it genuinely is a little bit of a struggle to even play the game at certain points. YouTube is filled with videos and players cruising around the Star Citizen universe with each other. Their spaceships fly seamlessly from space stations and down through planetary atmosphere to land in sci-fi styled cities before they head onwards on foot. Oh, before they head onwards on foot into caverns deep below the ground, which is true. There's caves. It's pretty cool. Warp holes have just been added to the game, allowing players to jump between 2 solar systems. Wow, they really are actually doing their research. I mean, that's the 4.0 update, so that's pretty cool. Space games are very easy to get excited about, says Oliver Hull, who runs a gaming-focused YouTube channel with 1.56 million subscribers. That's Ollie43 for you guys that don't know. It's a very pretty game. I think visually people see it and they go, "Oh, what's this about?" That's kind of true. I think that's how people do look at it. Hull, who is 32, used to play a lot of video games such as Grand Theft Auto, but now mostly posts videos showing him playing Star Citizen, flying around and looking for things to do, whether it be mining asteroids or attacking space pirates. Often Hull's videos show him frustrated when things don't work out as they should, but that is part of the interest, he says. To be frank, and this is his quote, he says, "To be frank, the game is still in development," he says. "When something doesn't work how it's intended to work, it doesn't really bother me because it's a kind of work in progress, if anything. I find it quite interesting from a game development standpoint." I don't know. That's a little bit of copium, but I get where he's coming from, and I feel like that is a very good quote for someone to say, especially as a lead person in the Star Citizen YouTube space. I think what he says there is very important to continue by saying it is in development rather than saying that the but the developers need to up their work time and get these updates out faster to us. I think what he said is actually really good. It's the rough edges of the game, the promises of what it could be, and seeing the game slowly move in that direction that motivates Star Citizen fans. I can't think of many games that do what Star Citizen does, says Hull. It's not finished, but I think it's very attractive. The fact that there's nothing else quite like it. That is very true. There really is nothing else like it, especially in video games. It is very attractive to the eye, and it is not finished. I think that was probably the best quote he said in this, and I quite agree with everything he's saying here. It might not be finished, but people have nonetheless been paying money for Star Citizen for all this time. A starter ship costs $45, and the game now has over 80 flyable ships. The most expensive ones currently available cost more than £500. Yup, and that's only the ones available, so they could have gone deeper and said some stuff, but they didn't. Well, maybe they will at the end. For instance, I know the Polaris is over $1,000, and that one isn't available to purchase right now, so that's probably why it's not in that section. The pre-release version allows the development team Cloud Imperium Games, CIG, to test how the game functions with live players as they develop it. But it also gives funders something tangible to play with, a glimpse into the long and complicated process of game development, rather than waiting for years until the full release. I think, honestly, that was one of the best financial decisions they could have made, because even though it's in development, people are still going to play it, and, it's a very good choice they made. As time goes on, satisfying the community becomes increasingly important. Many fans have now given large sums of their money, including through a controversial money-making scheme in which CIG pre-sells spaceships online that they intend to make in the future. Some so-called super backers have spent well over $10,000. Guys, I am not going to lie. I have always been against buying things that aren't out yet. If you guys have your money, go do it. Completely fine by you. But I will never do that because I just really don't know where I'm going to be in the next 5 years. And if I spend $1,000 now, what if I don't play this game in 2, 3, 4 years, when it comes out? So that's what is kind of holding me back from it. But to each their own. Fans, says industry analyst Elliott, have been pouring so much money into it that they are really emotionally invested. Now, industry analyst Elliott is not wrong. I think a lot of the people nowadays in Star Citizen will overlook any of the bugs, any of the bad things that happen in the game because they've put so much money into it. They don't want to talk bad about what is happening in the game. They have a screenshot here showing a hammerhead and a Karak, which is 600 pounds for the Karak and 725 pounds for the hammerhead, which is insane amounts of prices. But thankfully, the Karak has been fixed recently, so that's good. Development teams, too, have felt the pressure from the community with allegations in the industry media made against CIG management for imposing long work hours. A 2016 investigation by the gaming website Kotaku. Oh, we hate Kotaku, by the way, guys. Never trust anything Kotaku says. They are horrible people that literally push insane agendas that are super, super unrealistic and they are terrible. This is like the worst gaming website of all time. Never follow Otaku, by the way. They cited former employees who described crunch practices in which development teams are asked to work overtime because of a big milestone or before a big milestone, such as a gaming convention. Roberts told Kotaku at the time that he did not want crunch as a culture. Now, I will say, guys, wow, a hostile work environment where you overly promise and underdeliver. Yeah, when you promise that you're going to do something and you don't deliver, that's your fault. If you have to work harder and do those things, yes, it's unfair to some of the workers, but the higher ups should not be making that promises. And I'm sorry for the workers that get overworked, but that is just some stuff in management that they need to figure out, and that is terrible. CIG describes Star Citizen as the largest scale open development game in existence, but that ambition has also meant the game has now been in development for well over a decade, with repeated frustrating delays. True to that. In a 2012 interview with Roberts, The Guardian reported the plan was to release the game 2 years later in 2014. Fan forums regularly question if the game will ever be properly released. Guys, I am one of those people that says 1.0 release is 5 years away at least. But late last year, there were tentative signs of hope. For the first time, CIG revealed what the eventual launch version will look like, offering a clear version of what will and won't be included, even if no date was given. Now, I think maybe earlier than 2027, I think we'll get it. Hopefully, you know. What they did provide, however, was a 2026 release date for standalone single-player game Squadron 42. By the way, I was at Star Citizen Con, and guys, Squadron 42 looked beautiful. It was amazing to see that in person. Seeing Henry Cavill salute, oh my gosh. Sign me up and get me into Squadron 42 now. A story-driven narrative set within the wider Star Citizen universe with a Hollywood cast of voice actors, including Mark Hamill, Gillian Anderson, and Andy Serkis, along with Henry Cavill. I can't believe they didn't link him here. Are you kidding me? There's a couple people. They put Gillian Anderson over, what's that guy's name? That was Gordon in, what's that called? The Batman things? He played Commissioner Gordon. Oh, I'm blanking on his name. Hopefully you guys can comment that in the comment section. That'd be really nice of you. Anyway, they continue to say more delays are certainly expected, but the end may finally be in sight. No game made the traditional way through an established publisher with investors expecting a return could have weathered 13 years of development without a finished product. Star Citizen has been able to buckle the trend of the rest of the industry, which is in crisis with ballooning costs and regular layoffs. Its main backers are players, not investors, and they have different motivations. It is ended with a quote where they say, "I think Star Citizen funders saw it as a direct line to fight back against corporation and support a passion project of the highest degree," says Elliott. Success isn't just about spreadsheets, maximizing value and return on the investment, but putting fans at the heart of it. I will not lie, this Elliott guy needs all of our love and support right now. This guy is amazing. I'm going to scroll back up while I read this to you guys, but he is really saying a lot of things that are very factual and come from the heart as if he knows a lot about Star Citizen. His name is Rhys Elliott, R-H-Y-S Elliott, a games industry analyst at London-based market research firm MIDIA Research, which this guy honestly deserves all of the love. I think he is great, and these quotes that he gave are very amazing. It really does turn Star Citizen into a more of fan-based game than I think it really is, though, so that's the only problem I would say is with that. But I really do like this entire article. I think The Guardian hit the nail right on the head. It didn't say anything that was too controversial or incorrect, and I think they just made a post about what this game is, about the billion-dollar video game. Is this the most expensive piece of entertainment ever made? And I think this is a really cool little short hit piece. I think I like it. And The Guardian did not do bad, and I think it's definitely something that if you've never heard of Star Citizen, you read this, it might actually pull you into the game, especially with one of Ollie 43's videos, and seeing how much some of these ships cost. I bet people will go crazy. I'm sorry, I pressed play on the video there, so if you heard it a little bit, that is my bad. He is going around Bloom, and it looks beautiful. But yeah, that's about it for today. I would like to say, if you guys would like to win a C1 Spirit, join my Discord, click the giveaway section, and click the purple heart to get a reaction roll. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it is not normal compared to any of my other videos, but I thought it would be fun to go over what the mainstream-ish media says about Star Citizen and how they feel about the game that I'm not only making a career out of, but I am playing as well and streaming almost every single day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. My name's Kabutops. I love you all. Have a great day. Adios and goodbye. Bye.